Part 9, Native Americans. This is a challenging subject, but after watching Black Panther, I feel that this is an idea I should present. When you create a show, and you want adventure to be part of that show, and especially fantasy adventure, you will have foreign beings that are living their lives and engaging in their regular behaviors. Star Wars has alien animals hunting and killing each other. Stargate had different worlds. Farscape had crazy different worlds. And Hercules, Xena had bizarre proto-Greece Mediterranean. So if you're going to have some primitive peoples putting on a display of their beliefs as either background or centerpiece of a scene, the source material will always be something derived from Earth. Quick aside, the show Flash Gordon featured Hawkmen, who could do some sort of weird parachute suit flying because of their clothing. And there was an orphan son of the village chief on Earth, and you saw the tribe hanging out, and the men were dancing while waving these cloaks about, and it looked bad. The flying was weird. For the Daggers show, I thought of the different strata of a caste society and how you can cast various actors of different ethnic backgrounds to fill particular roles in the social ladder of this world. In the mythology I'm creating for this fantasy world, I am imagining a people who already lived, on the land and had a more indigenous connection with the land. Invading armies came in and claimed spots along the rivers, and the locals did not fight with them and just started coexisting with them. They have their settlements elsewhere, but they trade and interact with the warlike people that the Dagger are working with as mercenaries. I would like to see Native American actors to come in, participate in the stage combat training system, and develop a fantasy culture that exists on this alien world and uses practices and customs that you would find used by Native American tribes. The way they dress, use body language, decorations of their bodies and their surroundings, weapons and tools, and later we'll see like hunting parties, courtship and marriage rituals, and even some fighting. When this tribe of people do something on screen, whether it is background scenery or the centerpiece spectacle, it will be as close an approximation to something you would see in the Americas prior to European colonization. That is something that I would like to see rather than fluff of actors and writers trying to show off their skills. Give me the real thing. Don't well, let's try this, let's try that. All looks great. No, this is what we tried doing. And I feel the show will have a lot of features similar to the Discovery Channel show Survivor Man, in terms of showing how to survive with what you can gather. So plenty of scenes with the characters roaming the woods, meeting the indigenous people here and there, and trading with and learning from them. As time goes on, there will be recurring characters, storylines, and showing things like settlements and methods of living off the land, as well as religious type ceremonies. Behind the scenes, the actors will create documentaries explaining the history and heritage of everything they are doing. This becomes another program for the network, History Channel, Science Channel, and Discovery, etc. My thinking is, start out with a group of young actors who are ready to learn how to fight and be stuntmen. Have these applicants enroll in the film school program along with the rest of the cast and take the same classes and work alongside the rest of the cast. When it comes time to creating and filming the locations on Xena, this group of Native American actors can utilize every historical reference and concept and whatever they can create with the resources on hand. So depending on the biome of where we can film, will dictate what cultures on Earth these actors would potentially draw upon in creating this fantasy tribe. We could even explore controversial and questionable practices, because exploring sensitive subject matter is part of the idea of A Gang of Daggers. For these behind-the-scenes documentaries, conceivably, we are starting with clothing, decorations, weapons. Then the actors can explore what language they want to use, how they want to organize the society, hierarchies, mythology, cultural practice, etc. Rather than try to create exactly a Native American culture or take a lot of ideas from one tribe or another and totally misappropriate some Native American custom, or have a bunch of extras just wave their arms in the background while wearing costumes and looking bored, which I, as a viewer, would ignore and avoid because it's fluff, meaningless. But if I tell a group of Native Americans, filmmakers, create a culture from the ground up that uses things Native Americans do. Start filming what we create and incorporate it into the show's storyline. Develop the culture into a village or town and have major storyline events occur there. Like, I, as a viewer, am going to be more interested in the scenes where one of these actors pop up, and like learning more and more about them. Rather than have a naked android that gets its nose busted on Westworld, show me a group of these indigenous people hanging out, hunting, chasing women, celebrating a marriage, stuff everybody does. Even better, find obscure Native American practices and put those on screen. Part of the question of why I want to do this is simple. Actors from the show are going to graduate and move on, creating a pool of actors who know how to stage fight. If there's also a group of Native American actors who know how to stage fight and construct authentic looking Native American sets, I'm going to start creating movies and TV shows that feature colonial and pre-colonial Americas. Like, I want to make a TV show and call it The Native Americans. And each episode centers on a different Native American tribe, showing their mythology, history of the people and where they lived, how they lived, and unique customs, and end with the interaction with white Europeans. Bonus, if in the course of making the show, stories are discovered that would make for good action movies, it can be done on the spot. Why? The production crew is present, the actors are present, research will have been done, and the location scouted. Also, film production concerns would have been factored in. So, if the crew films an episode and in the course of pre-production discovers some neat story that they think would make for a good movie, like a made-for-TV movie for History Channel, they can do the normal shooting schedule for the regular show, and at the end of the day, or where they could squeeze in, have actors stage scenes and do a promo or trailer reel to raise funds for a full movie. And when the crew gets good enough, they can just sell the idea of the movie beforehand, working out a schedule where they can film the show and film the movie back to back. So the documentary shows a tribe building something neat that helped their people live and survive. Then the movie films the next week and shows the actors interacting with the set. The next week they show the Europeans coming in and causing a ruckus, and probably by the next week you destroy the set and use that footage for both movie and documentary. So scenes of crowds in costumes and makeup, creating the background citizenry of a full-scale set. They're recreating a Native American village or a town or even a section of a city. The film crew would have knowledge on how to create and film all of this. I see this as a possibility of creating opportunities for the participants and education centers. Plus, tourism all over will appreciate their local history being presented on television. I hope that my idea is not seen as cultural misappropriation. I am approaching this idea with the purpose of inclusion, and the purpose of education and enlightenment. I can have a room full of writers spend a week coming up with an idea of an alien primitive culture, a costume and props department spend a week building things, and then hire actors to pretend to do something that they don't know anything about. Or I can have some Native American actors construct from the ground up an idea of a Native American tribe with its own unique history and lore, tribal customs and relations, and document the process and explain the source material. Thank you.